When Henny like Edgar,
I'm doing better.
I'm doing better, looking so fresh, sweating in leather.
The No More Sleep executive pick list will focus on players that are going within the first 5 rounds. Our goal is to give you information so that you can make informed decisions like an executive would do. Executives take data and then they make informed decisions. Every pick in fantasy is a guess. At the end of the day, those who win our league are those who make the most educated guesses. And today we're going to help you make an educated guess on Cincinnati Bengals running back Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon had a breakout year last year. His first year, people were concerned that he wouldn't produce. And then last year, he proved that not only could he be reliable, but he can do quite a lot when you give him the opportunity. In the 14 games that he played, he finished as the 4th leading rusher in the NFL with 1,168 yards. He also proved that he can do quite a lot in the efficiency category. He was one of the highest rated for production value. So to give you an idea of what I mean by that, so snap share, he ranked top 10. He had 73% snap share. Red zone touches, he ranked top 12. And despite all of the opportunities, normally when you see a ton of carries, you see efficiency and yards per carry or yards created. That did not happen with Joe Mixon. Joe finished with a 4.9 average for yards per carry, which is higher than Zeke and tied with Todd Gurley and basically tied with Saquon Barkley. He also finished with 43 receptions, which was ranked top 20. And he finished with 54 evaded tackles, which was ranked top 20. And 449 yards created, which was ranked top 10. So Joe Mixon, not only is he a bell cow, but he is efficient and he can catch the ball. So he's a triple threat. Now, the other things that we like about Joe Mixon is the changes that took place over the offseason. They now have, a coach who was used to seeing Todd Gurley in a system and who was very successful at helping receivers separate. And I'll tell you why that's important. So Zac Taylor is going to be an amazing ad for the Bengals. And I think if he can get the team anywhere close to the schemes that the Rams were running, at least for the receivers, it's going to bode well for Joe Mixon. So pro number one of the first things we like is that Zac Taylor is going to help one of the cons. So last year we saw Andy Dalton regress, and part of the reason why is because defenses figured out that Andy Dalton is one of the best against the blitz. In fact, PFF rated him the 3rd highest graded quarterback against the blitz. And we also know that Andy Dalton can get the ball out very quickly, which is why he's good against the blitz. Now, the problem with that is defenses figured this out and then stopped blitzing Andy Dalton and basically just put extra guys on the receivers to take away that quick option. That made Andy Dalton panic, make more bad decisions, and hold the ball longer than what he's used to. If defenses try that again, the only way that they won't be successful is if Zac Taylor can bring what he did at the Rams over to the Bengals, because the Rams had one of the highest target separation averages amongst their receivers. Target separation essentially means that the receiver is far from the defender by the time the route is done. If he can get Tyler Boyd and John Ross, and if AJ Green stays on the team, if he can get them to improve their target separation, then that's only going to bode well for Andy Dalton, and it's also going to bode well for Joe Mixon. Because defenses were not blitzing last year, Joe Mixon saw an average of 6.6 defenders in the box. Now, they know now that this year that Joe Mixon can run the ball, so they can't necessarily get away with just 6.6 defenders in the box. However, if Zac Taylor is going to have multiple receivers on the field, and these receivers are going to get separation with the quarterback like Andy Dalton, who can get the ball out quick and who can spot blitzes, that means less defenders in the box for Joe Mixon. And 6.6 is already amazing. Anything below 6.7 is great. To give you some reference there, Zeke, people like Zeke and Saquon and Christian McCaffrey, they typically see 7 defenders in the box. So anything below 6.7 is great. And we project that he will probably get closer to 6.4 to 6.5 defenders in the box average for 2019 for Joe Mixon. So there's that. And then the other thing, last two things, improve offensive line. So we know the Bengals had a bad offensive line last year. A lot of that I will have to blame on Andy Dalton. However, there was definitely some concerns at the offensive tackle position, but they've addressed that, and it looks like it's probably going to be a candidate for the most improved offensive line year over year. So Joe Mixon now has a better offensive line, and it's not like he needed it anyway. He was efficient with the bad offensive line. And then lastly, the Bengals have a horrible defense. And I'm sorry for the Bengals fans out there, but that defense does not look good. There's some, you got Sam Hubbard, that's nice, and Jesse Bates, who's promising, but the defense is one of the poorest ranked defenses on both sides of the ball, running and passing. So with that being said, that's a good thing for Joe Mixon because it means garbage time. The Bengals are constantly playing from behind, which means that they have to rely on Joe Mixon in the passing game, and we know that he can catch, and that's a fantasy dream, is to have the quarterback throwing the ball to the running back in garbage time. That's great. Now, the only other thing to pay attention to is workload. When you run a running back like this, that heavily, there's some wear and tear. But Joe Mixon, out of all the bell cow running backs, he has a secret weapon for the wear and tear piece, and his name is Gio Bernard. So Gio Bernard is a good thing for Joe Mixon. We hope to see Gio Bernard get used more this year than last year so that Joe Mixon can keep his legs healthy. 73% snap share is okay, but not at 230 plus carries. So either reduce the target share or reduce the carries, given the fact that he's efficient, and give him more in the passing game. And he'll finish with more points than he did last year while staying healthy. We don't want to see him do 14 games again this year. We want him to see him play all 17. So Gio Bernard is a good thing. Let's hope that Gio Bernard can get plugged into the offense just a little bit more. So there you go. You have the information. Make an informed decision. The No More Sleep Executive Pick List.
Got it. Get it, go, get it, I got it. Get it, go, get it, I got it.